I love that you can control how fast Isaac walks. Jesus, fuck.
Guys, I think I'm in love. Dead Space Remake has currently and metaphorically grabbed a hold of my floppily doppelies and shows no sign whatsoever, guys, of relinquishing its tight grip on these precious love spuds of mine any time soon. Now, before I continue, thank you very much for clicking on this video. You are amazing. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you'll know by now how much I love this series and how my emotions and expectations regarding this remake have been one hell of an emotional rollercoaster ride. But my god, guys, I am happy to report to you that at the moment anyway, what Motive Studio have done is delivered on their promises and have created a fresh but familiar product. One that actually reminds me of the Resident Evil 1 remake, in that it's effectively the same game, but with meaningful changes and improvements to the layout, the gameplay, the enemies, the story, that I can honestly say to you guys that it's like playing a whole new game now. I mean, granted, you're gonna feel like you're playing the original to a certain extent. I mean, I sure as hell did. But it is like playing a fresh new title, so it truly does justify its own existence. This isn't by any means just a graphical enhancement game, guys. It offers the full works here, and in this video I want to give you my first impressions of the remake, what I feel it does really well, what it doesn't do quite so well. There's a couple of niggles here that I could do without, but I'll go into those criticisms later on, and I'm going to have a full review coming out later at some point on the channel. You're just going to have to wait for that one. I don't know when it's coming, guys, but it is definitely coming. So for now, let's talk about the game's graphics. And who can deny what's on display here, guys? And I know I've made a habit of saying this a lot, but this really is also one of the best looking PS5 games I've seen, hands down. And what I particularly like about the Dead Space Remake's graphics is its contrast. This was something that was kind of lacking in the Callisto Protocol, and I only bring this up because it's quite relevant to Dead Space. Now, when I played the Callisto Protocol, it's an amazing looking game, but the contrast was off a little bit there. In the Dead Space Remake, you don't have any of those issues in performance mode. The blacks are so black that when you're in a dark corridor, guys, with no lights around you, you've got no choice but to raise your gun up and use its flashlight as your guiding system, and that's that. And it adds so much fear and tension into the game. And on the fucking, I can't even talk right now. On the subject of scares, guys, this game is scary. I'm currently, at the time of making this particular edit, around about the tail end of chapter 3, so that makes it around about 4 or 5 hours in my playthrough. I walk a lot in games, especially when I've played them for the first time. And in that 4 or 5 hours, guys, I have jumped out of my skin about 20 times now. And that's a lot. Guys, there is no doubt that if you've got a decent headset and a decent TV, even if you've got a fucking old black and white TV, I think you're going to be really scared of this game. I think they utilize the scare tactics so well. And granted, some of them are going to be the same as they were in the first game, but some of them aren't, guys. And altogether combined, you ain't going to be sitting still in this game. That's almost guaranteed. It is an incredibly tense and scary game, guys. And when you factor in other elements that help bring this immersion and atmosphere to life, like the sound design, my goodness, the sound design. I'm so happy to tell you that the whispers are back in this game. Now, I got to elaborate on this a little bit here. I'm scared when it comes to remakes of little details that I loved being pulled out, because sometimes, as we know, the littlest details can sometimes be the biggest details at the same time. And when it comes to Dead Space Remake, one of the best things about it is, in terms of its sound design, is those whispers, you know, it just messes with your head. And I absolutely love the fact that stuff like that is still present in the game. And what I also love about the sound design is that sometimes you'll be in an area and you'll hear like necromorphs, like in another part of the ship, just running amok, and it's like, oh god, what's going on over there, you know what I mean? It's so like, nothing's just happening in your vicinity, it's happening elsewhere and you can hear it too. It's bloody amazing. Motive have also seen fit to expand on the lore and the characters as well, and while for the most part these are really good, there are some niggles which I'm not particularly keen on, but again I'll touch on them in a very short while now. But what I do like is how they've connected things, and not to give too much away here, one example I will give, and this happens right at the beginning of the game, you find this out. And they've got Isaac's mother who entered into the Church of Unitology, and on the subject of Unitology they've expanded that as well. And again, I won't give away too much, but I do like what they've done here. What I don't like what they've done is what they've done with Hammond. For a start, he's not as kind of the same as he was. He's a bit dull now. I mean, there's no kind of the USG Ishimura or then reroute the damn power. But again, I'm only in a certain point in the game right now, but at the moment Hammond just seems bland and not a touch to what he was like in the previous entry, or rather the original game. Kendra seems like she's a little bit better. She's got like a bit more of a personality. They've made her a lesbian now. That is what it is. I'm not going to comment too much on this, and to go even further actually, before I completely disregard this altogether, they've changed the race and gender of Johnston. I'm not going to say I told you so, guys, but I did kind of address this in one of my reaction videos a year or so ago, and it's EA. It's just a bit like, alright, we see what you're doing, EA, just keep it clean, alright? As far as the gameplay goes, the necromorphs, they don't stun as easily anymore, so that makes them even more terrifying, and with that gives you more reason and justification to use your stasis. Stasis was something I rarely used in Dead Space 1. I used it a bit more in Dead Space 2, but in the first game I hardly used it because the enemies just kind of stunned when you shot them with most of your weapons, you know. But in here, you shoot them, they keep going. And the only way you can kind of stun them, at least from my point at the moment, is with the Ripper. The Ripper's really good for stunning your enemies and gives you a great sense of empowerment because it allows you to just push forward into the enemy as you saw off their limbs. It's great fun. So the gameplay is great, and you've also got like these extra bits now where you can kind of reroute the power. Reroute the damn power, right? And you can like make a decision. Like in one case, you've got to turn the power on in this other section of the area, but in order to do that, you've got to turn one part of the power off elsewhere. So you've got to make a decision. Are you going to go through without any air supply, or are you going to go through without any lights on? It's stuff like that, you know, that just adds a bit more replayability and a bit more dynamic to the actual overall gameplay, and it is well received. Going forward, I hope I see a lot more of what I've been seeing already. There's plenty more to get through yet, guys, and I absolutely cannot wait. If you want to speak your piece about the Dead Space remake, please do so in the comments, but please guys, do not do any spoilers down there, otherwise it's an instant ban. It's on you guys, it's not me. But until that full review, guys, coming at some point in the future, thank you as always for watching this video, and I will see you all very soon.